Hey there students, welcome to Educated. Let's talk about Kepler's law of ellipses, which is the inverse square law, part 1. So in our previous videos, we have covered that the force function is given by the following equation: du squared d theta squared plus u is equals to negative. You can see that this is the formula for the force function. We have proven that in our previous video, and we even did an example on that. So now here is our elliptical orbit, and then here is the sun at one of the focus, and then you can see that here is your planet. So between the sun and the planet, the line that connects those two is known as a radial line. It's known as a radial line, and we use the symbol R to represent it. So basically we have got two focus points, and we say that since we have got the sun and a planet here, they exert a gravitational force on each other. Remember that according to Newton's universal law of gravitation, it states that two masses, let's say this is mass m and then this is mass small letter m, they exert a gravitational force on each other. So basically this planet feels a gravitational force along this line from the sun. This is represented by this red symbol. So this is basically the gravitational force. This is the gravitational force. It's a centripetal force, but in this sense, we're going to say it's known as a radial force because it is acting along this radial distance or along this radial line that is connecting the two planets together. So to find our gravitational force or our radial force, we get it just by saying g m over r squared, which is basically the Newton's law of universal gravitation. And then now to compress this, you can see that g is a constant, and then capital letter M, which is the mass of the sun, is a constant. Small letter m, which is the mass of the planet, remains constant during the motion. So it is not really affected by the motion or the motion around the sun. So basically we can just make a new constant k, which is equals to g times capital letter M and small letter m. So g times capital letter M times small letter m. This is the k constant, which is just representing the what? Which is representing these three constants, which is g, capital letter M and small letter m. And then this is over r squared. So we can now substitute equation 2 into equation 1. In this case, our equation 2 is this one. We can substitute it into equation 1 and we'll have something like this. So remember that equation 1 here had d squared u, which is this, plus u, which is plus u here, is equals to negative 1 over ml squared u squared. And then now instead of writing the force function f of u to the power minus 1, we actually wrote times negative k over r squared, because we know that the force is the gravitational force and it is given by this equation negative k over r squared, whereby k it is just the product of these three constants. So now we can further prove that and say that now since you have got a negative and a negative here, this is a negative, this is also a negative. When you multiply them, it's just going to be a positive. And then this k over r squared, we can just rewrite it as k times u squared. It is simply because remember that in our previous video, we covered that r is equals to 1 over u. R is equals to 1 over u. So basically it tells you that here, if you have got k over r squared, you can rewrite this. If you have got k times 1 over r squared, you can just rewrite this as k multiplied by u squared, because here we can just say u is equals to 1 over r. So basically here we have got k over r squared. We can rewrite this as k u squared. You will see, you'll figure out the mathematics later. And then this u squared and this u squared will cancel out and will remain with something like this. This will be d squared u d theta squared plus u is equals to k over ml squared. So now to proceed, we now say, remember that according to physics 1, we've said that simple harmonic motion is given by this equation. X, which is the displacement, is equals to negative of the amplitude cos of theta. So Kepler realized that this equation that we have here is a similar form to that equation, in a sense that d squared u d theta squared can be actually equals to the displacement. So we can actually say the derivative of u with respect to theta, the second derivative of u with respect to theta, which is just d squared u d theta squared, it is equal to x. So we can just say x here, in this case, it is equals to negative a cos of theta, because we are just assuming that this is in oscillatory motion, or it's in periodic motion, so it will follow this simple harmonic motion law. So basically we make this negative on purpose because we want just to make this as a proof, so there is no need to reason too much. It's the displacement, we just assume the negative displacement. So now here basically we are going to say you are going to actually replace, d squared u over d theta squared. You are going to replace it with what? With a cos theta. So when you replace it with a cos theta, you are going to get u is equals to k over ml squared plus a cos theta. And furthermore, now remember that since we've said that r is equals to 1 over u, then here we have got u is equals to k over ml squared plus a cos theta. So we can just transform this u to be r by just saying 1 over whatever that we have here. So this is just 1 over, in this case the value of u, we found it to be k over ml squared plus a cos theta. So this will be actually the value of r. And then now, to be able to simplify this now to find the equation for an elliptical orbit, because remember that the law of ellipses, which is the Kepler's first law, it states that the planets move around in an elliptical orbit. So in this sense, how do we prove that? How do we actually find or solve the equation for an elliptical orbit? We're simply going to multiply here on top with ml squared over k, and even on the denominator we're going to multiply with ml squared over k. So when you multiply with ml squared over k, this one will be ml squared over k multiplied by 1, because we're multiplying fractions. You just multiply numerator and numerator. And when you multiply this with the denominator, this ml squared, when you multiply it to this term, you are going to get 1, because the k and k will cancel, the ml squared and the ml squared will cancel. And you multiply this with this term here, you are going to get a ml squared over k cos theta. So this will be r is equals to k over ml squared, which is just 1 times these two, the numerators. And then if you're going to multiply these two, mathematically you're going to get 1 plus, if you're going to multiply a cos theta with ml squared over k, you're going to get a ml squared, okay, this is over k cos theta. So basically this equation describes an elliptical orbit. So this equation describes the elliptical orbit. So if they say derive an equation for an elliptical orbit, you are supposed to prove this equation. So in our next video, we're actually going to do a part 2, whereby we prove that this r is actually given by a into 1 plus e over something like that. So we're going to prove this equation in our part 2 of this video. Thank you for staying tuned and for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to subscribe.